At the end of the Festival of Education here at Wellington College, we speak to Julian Thomas, who is the master here. Mr. Thomas,
Lucy.
so we come to the end of another Festival of Education.
Yeah.
What have been the highlights for you this time?
Well, it's been a really good EdFest. This time last year the clouds opened, we had biblical rain and thunder and lightning. The next day, things got even worse. We had Brexit. This year, by comparison, it's been an absolute breeze.
Yeah.
It has been, the weather's smiled on us. We've had some brilliant speakers. Everybody's been really engaged. And to me, if I'm honest, the highlight of this EdFest has been walking around, has been hearing people engaged, talking, discussing education, trying to make things better. So that's my highlight, if you like, of the whole thing. I very much enjoyed Amanda Spielman talking the sorts of things she was saying as the Ofsted Chief Inspector, the idea of getting behind the raw results, understanding how schools get the results they get and not just what results they get. That to me is absolutely crucial in education. It's why we pulled out of the league tables.
Yeah,
you
of
might
course,
remember that.
Of course.
That sort of idea that it's not just the exam results that matter, there's more to it.
Yeah.
So that was another highlight to me. And then I enjoyed Giles Brandreth at the
course.
end. I mean, he's wacky, he's off very, very funny man,
Yeah.
a brilliant wordsmith, and I really enjoyed that.
Yeah. So what do you think the importance of the education, of the Festival of Education is in the wider context of education in the UK?
Yeah, so there aren't actually very many, if any, events like this. It's an opportunity for state and independent to join together, for primary and secondary, for further education, to all come together in the same space with no barriers. We're not competing against each other, we're not trying to put one argument above another. We're coming together with a common goal of trying to be better at what we do, to be better educators, to put the children who we're educating at the centre of what we're trying of everything we do. And I get a real lift from that, and I think other people do as well, sharing ideas and trying to become better, as I say. And so I think it does have a really important context. I think it's the one time and space each year. I describe it as where Wellington College becomes centre of the educational universe, because right here, right now, those discussions are taking place that are going to shape the debate, the educational debate across the next year. And I truly believe that.
Yeah.
And then we have the teachers, educators, they like to be listened to. Well, everyone likes to be listened to. They like to get answers, but they also like to feedback as well. And you have people, the decision makers come to Wellington College for the EdFest, and they expose them. They lay themselves open. They meet the people whose decision who are affected by the decisions that they make, and they're held accountable. They give answers, and people feel as though they've been listened to. I think it's really important.
And what do you think then, from the festival this year? What do you think you can see are the biggest challenges that education in the UK is facing at the moment, and that teachers are facing? I think
it's a little bit relates to what Amanda Spielman was talking about. That the most competitive countries, where places in higher education are most competitive, where jobs in the very best jobs are most competitive. There's quite a lot of research to show that schools in those countries, like the US, like the UK, narrow down the way they teach, so that it becomes much more geared towards how to get particular exam results, rather than actually focusing on what really great education means. So I think the real challenge that lies ahead is recognising the problems that lie in the system, is understanding that we need to do much more to address them, and to really give an education that is for education's sake, building up a wonderful body of knowledge, building up the ability to be creative, to have mastery of the written word, of the spoken word, and to gain superb exam results through as an outcome, and not as an end in itself. So I think there's a real challenge there. I think that students need to buy into that. I think parents need to buy into that. The question that you hear most often in schools is, hands up, sir, miss, is this going to be in the exam? And the implication of that is that if it's not in the exam, it's not worth knowing.
Yeah.
And we've got to move right away from that in the UK education system and replace it with something that is about education for education's sake.
Yeah. Mr. Thomas, thank you so much.
You're very welcome. You must be exhausted. Well done to you, well done to all the team. It's been a fantastic couple of days.